It is meant to be just Instagram. Okay, so getting back to where we were. Thank you very much for hanging out there on Instagram. So, there is mass confusion occurring in the market right now. Mass confusion. There is a lot of people not really... We get calls constantly with clients that are saying, Pete, what's going on? The political market, this, that. Which way is the real estate market going to go? I'm here to give you my thoughts. My thoughts are not going to be political. This is not going to be any kind of political statement whatsoever. But there are things that are occurring that are causing confusion. Things that are creating fear. And fear can be paralyzing, especially with an asset as massive as real estate, an asset as massive as property. So I just want to share a few thoughts on how we are handling it over at PLG, because at the end of the day, our clients look to us. They look to us for guidance. They also look to us for leadership. And they look to us for a glimpse as to what's going to happen. So we talked about this at the PLG meeting not so long ago, which is the following. When there is confusion in the air, now is the time to act. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. None of us do. None of us know which way the market is going to go. However, we all can research. We all have lenders. We all have people that work in finance. We all have office managers. We all can read the paper. We can read the Wall Street Journal. We can read the New York Times. We can go on Inman and look at the curve of what's occurring to the real estate market. It's our job to essentially never switch off. I never switch off. I'm always trying to absorb information regarding our market. And once I absorb that information, I can pass it on to the agents. But most importantly, we can pass it on to our clients. This is my thought for where the market is heading in the next 6 months to a year. Naturally, none of us know what this current administration is going to do. I'm not going to comment on that. It is what it is. However, I do think the hallmarks of us as agents being able to give our clients valuable information, which is the following, and I've said this before in other mantras. The first 6 months of this year, I think, are going to remain decent. They're going to remain buoyant. I'm not even going to go into price points because it varies from price point to price point. The first 6 months, I think, is going to remain somewhat flat. If everything is going to go the way we're being told it's going to go, interest rates are going to start bipping up. The Fed have already said they're going to have 3 moves at least this year. So what does that mean for our clients? It means if you are a seller and you want to sell within the next, this is important, you want to sell within the next year to 2 years, maybe you sell now. But if you're a seller and you're kind of on the fence and you're like, one day we can sell, then, maybe you hold off for the next cycle, which could be anywhere from 3 to 6 years away. If you're a buyer, interest rates are going to go up, so that means it's going to cost more for the same money. Now, it might sound to the people out there that I'm saying, okay, you're a typical real estate agent who's saying buy now and sell now, but just don't take my word for it. Look at the research. We deal with knowns and unknowns. Right now, the known is we're in a stable market with a potentially unstable administration, right? Hopefully it's going to get better. In 6 months, who knows? I had a lovely, lovely conversation with a client yesterday who was adorable, and she was just like, look, Pete, I'm not really sure which way to go. What should I do? And I always like to offer the advice as I would my own family. I've always treated clients and my agents like they're my own family, right? Give them this. I imagine that they're a cousin or an uncle or related to my family, because that's always helped me offer the best advice I possibly can. She has a little girl, and so I said to her, hey, right now we're dealing with knowns and unknowns. Right now, if you sell, market is hot, you're going to get a great deal for your house. And then I said you should go rent, maybe rent for a year or 2, and then take the money once the market does what it's going to do. Because there is going to be some kind of correction, not a crash, not necessarily a drop, but when money becomes more expensive, that means that buyers have more power when they're buying a home. So I recommended to her that she should sell now, take the money, rent for at least a year, and then take her time in buying on the west side of LA. So the last thing that I want to talk about is, you know, sometimes people are like, Pete, you're so on the pulse. You know what's going on. You guys at PLG are so streetwise. I mean, we are, but it isn't because we're all like super cool kids. It's because we do the research. There are Gary talked about this today, and I freaking loved it. Right? The three pillars of being able to build business: talent, strategy, and effort. Right? I am 6'1", but I don't know how to play basketball, so I'm never going to be a successful basketball player. So my talent is 0. However, I could get pretty good if I strategized by hanging out with really good basketball players, right? And then I put an enormous amount of effort in on the court. But I'm never going to be a pro basketball player no matter how much I want to do it. So let me twist that example around and use it in real estate. Talent, strategy, and effort. In my opinion, the most important column is effort, work effort, right? Your work ethic. That's number 1. Number 2 is strategy. Who are you? What do you do in the business? Are you trying to make yourself feel and look different to everyone else? Have you found your niche, right? In my opinion, where people are successful is find a niche. It doesn't have to be super, 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 super tiny, but find a niche and go for it. Otherwise, everybody's just the same. And for me, the weakest pillar in the 3 pillars of talent, strategy, and effort is actually talent, especially in real estate, because if you work your ass off and you have great strategies and you're loyal and you're honest and you research and you consume data on a massive amount, I think you're going to be successful. So I want to just leave you with this thought. There is confusion in the air. The administration and the political climate is crazy right now. Act, don't react. If we act and we lead, then we will win. And when I say act and lead, of course it goes without saying, we can only ever do what is in the highest and best interest of our colleagues and our fellows and our clients. So with that, I'm going to leave you with another Monday Mantra, over and done with, live streaming on both Instagram and Facebook with technical difficulties. Thank you all, and I will see you all very soon. Have a beautiful week and take care.